Queen Camilla's heart-wrenching documentary premieres as she continues to recover from chest infection. See the new clip. As she continues to recover from a chest infection, Queen Camilla is releasing a documentary about a subject matter deeply important to her, raising awareness of domestic and sexual violence. Her new, often harrowing documentary Her Majesty the Queen, Behind Closed Doors debuts on November 11 and shows the Queen's path as she has worked to break the taboo over the issue of domestic abuse. It also reveals her empathy when she meets women and their families who have experienced domestic abuse and shows her deep understanding of the issue and the help needed for women and girls. The film, aimed at giving domestic abuse survivors a voice, will air on ITV1 in the UK. 1 in 5 adults, and a quarter of all women, in the UK experience domestic abuse in their lifetime, and it is estimated that around 3 women die by suicide as a result of domestic abuse every week. In the 90-minute film, Camilla, 77, meets survivors of domestic abuse and talks to the support workers helping give women a new start. As she does, Camilla speaks candidly about what has motivated her over the last decade. Hello viewers, please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. One of the most difficult things about domestic abuse to understand, it's not the bruises and the black eyes, which unfortunately you see, through violence. This is something that creeps up very slowly and, far too often, it ends up with women being killed, Camilla said in the documentary. You meet somebody, you think they're wonderful and attractive and love you, and then, bit by bit, they start to undermine you. They take away your friends, they take away your family, and then when you start questioning it, these people become very violent, she continued. Of one never-before-seen private meeting with Diana Parks, whose daughter, Joanna Simpson, was killed by her estranged husband, Camilla said, I think she's so strong, because not many people would be able to survive the death of their daughter. I admire her more than I can say. The film was unveiled to many of the contributors and supporters at a special screening at Buckingham Palace. There, Hetty Barkworth-Nanton, who was a friend of Joanna Simpson, and is now chair of the charity Refuge, tells people, firstly, with every single survivor that I've seen her talk to, it's not about the cameras. She does it privately because she genuinely cares and she genuinely wants them to be at ease. Secondly, honestly, they come out of the conversation with her absolutely buzzing, and they're buzzing because they were helped to feel very comfortable talking about a very difficult thing, Barkworth-Nanton continues. But also because they've spoken to the Queen and the Queen listened and showed she cared. You can't put a price on the difference that makes for survivors, because it lifts them up and they keep going. It's incredible. It helps them to realize that they can hold their head up high, they don't need to feel shame. That's all part of repairing. These women have sometimes gone through decades of being made to feel utterly worthless. So just meeting the Queen and talking about what happened is part of the journey. And takes them further along the journey in terms of starting to feel some real self-esteem and worth, she adds. It doesn't matter that she's the Queen and that woman probably is at the lowest point in her life in terms of how she feels about herself, Barkworth-Nanton says. And they come together as equals and, having come together as equals, it's easier to then ask the questions and help to bring them out of themselves because they feel safe. She helps them to feel safe. Also featured is actor Sir Patrick Stewart, who talks about witnessing his father's violence against his mother. The film also follows the Queen as she celebrates International Women's Day at Buckingham Palace and concludes with a small reception for a group of survivors who also tell their story in the documentary. One of those was Rehema Muthamia, Britain's first black Miss England in 2021, who entered the contest to help raise the issue to the audience of that pageant. She was acknowledging us, Muthamia tells people. Showing that it mattered to her and acknowledging those of us who have been through it, and have gone through the journey. It could be anyone from any background. It is a respecter of no woman, no man, she continues. Queen Camilla has long supported domestic abuse survivors, and on her recent trip to Australia and Samoa alongside King Charles, 75, she took part in a discussion on family and domestic violence in Australia to learn more about what is being done to tackle the issue on October 21 in Canberra. Later, in Samoa, the Queen delivered a keynote address in recognition of Commonwealth efforts to end gender-based violence on October 24, and the next day opened the Queen Camilla Preschool of Hope as the Samoa Victims Support Group continues its mission to raise awareness and educate young people about preventing violence against women and girls. "I just want to do something about this," the Queen said in a trailer for her documentary, released on social media on November 1. She adds later in the clip, "With determination and courage, we will succeed." If Her Majesty had one ambition for this documentary, it is not that viewers understand a little bit more about her and her work, but it's a wish that this documentary will prompt conversations in homes, schools and workplaces across the country, a Buckingham Palace spokesman says. Conversations that, if they can happen here in a palace with the Queen, can and should happen everywhere. The Queen's documentary premieres as she continues to recover from a chest infection, announced by the palace on November 5, which forced her to miss numerous remembrance events over the weekend with the rest of the royal family, including the Festival of Remembrance at Royal Albert Hall on November 9 and Remembrance Sunday at the Cenotaph War Memorial on November 10. In a November 9 statement, Buckingham Palace issued an update on Queen Camilla's health, saying that following doctors' guidance to ensure a full recovery from a seasonal chest infection, and to protect others from any potential risk, Her Majesty will not attend this weekend's remembrance events. While this is a source of great disappointment to the Queen, she will mark the occasion privately at home and hopes to return to public duties early next week, the statement continued. If you are experiencing domestic violence, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233, or go to thehotline.org. All calls are toll-free and confidential. The hotline is available 24/7 in more than 170 languages. Queen Camilla pulls out of all remembrance events this weekend amid chest infection, Palace announces. Queen Camilla will not join the royals at key remembrance events after getting sick with a chest infection. This weekend, King Charles will lead the family at the Festival of Remembrance at Royal Albert Hall in London. The Royal British Legion's annual event commemorates the British and Commonwealth Armed Forces community, honouring those who have served and sacrificed. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments, and most importantly don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.